Bonjour, welcome. In this video, we are going to discuss my progress with French and in particular how I managed to finish the Duolingo French course in 4 months when since it takes you to B2 level, it should have taken me 8 semesters of college according to the internet. Then we are going to see what my level of French is with an interview with a native French speaker. He would be here in this room sitting over there, and then you can judge my level of French. Of course I would make mistakes, but I can understand French when people speak now, and if I watch some content, digital content with subtitles, I can understand it. So um, now let's coming to how I did it in 4 months. That's the first question. Second question is who can do it, and third would be giving you some general advice very quickly about language learning. Firstly, I learned Spanish last year, and I did not know whether it was possible to do it in a year, but it was my resolve in January to learn Spanish by the end of the year. I was listening to some music in Spanish from Latin America, and I thought, oh, I want to learn this language, and that's how I started. And in the process, I had a transformation in my life in general. I used to be very unorganized and bad with time and management and doing long-term projects and so on. In that transformation process, I also changed and got into a habit of learning languages every day at 5:30 in the morning, 1 hour of study. And I have uploaded another video about how to use Duolingo efficiently. And using that method, I finished Spanish within a year, but really within 6-7 months or so. And because initially I was using it how everyone uses it, 5 minutes a day, not really paying attention, trying to learn it passively, doesn't happen. After I finished Spanish, I moved on to French quickly, immediately, because it's one of the 3 courses that is on Duolingo that has entire syllabus on it. In it, B2 until B2, 8 sections, English, Spanish and French. I began French, and I knew that I would finish it in 4 months. In fact, in the video, there's another video on the channel where I talk about what my Spanish is, similar to this video. There I say come back to this channel in May or the end of May or June, beginning of June, but I did not say why. It's because I knew that I would have finished studying French and would be speaking French then. In January I spoke none French, absolutely nothing except for bonjour and merci beaucoup. That's all. And now I can speak it slowly, but I'm getting there and I understand it. So how is it possible? You could look up my technique. I would describe it very quickly. I do 1 unit, or I do 2 units per day in Duolingo. There are 270 units for French and Spanish, around that number. And when I say I do a unit, I don't do every lesson. I do the first bubble, the story, the radio, and I jump to the next unit, because then the rest of them are repetitive and you don't need to do that. And then I have discussed the possible questions you might have about this method in the other video. Of course, had I done everything, my French would be better, but I did not have 3 hours of time to give. I'm not like a professional language learner. Okay, now who can do this? Firstly, I couldn't have done this 2 years ago. It's like running a marathon. I wouldn't run a marathon tomorrow. I can't. I have to train for it. And since if you are a language learner who has been learning languages quickly, you can just use my method and learn French. But if you have not learned a language recently or ever, then this is not gonna be possible, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because you're not used to it. I'm not saying it's impossible. Do try, but I would say don't try something that you have like it's up to you. Do try if you think you can do it. I knew I could do it, and there was period of time where I was wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing myself and spending so much time on French? Which do I even really want to learn French, and so on? But I pushed through that period and I got here. I never missed a day. Every single morning. That means I have to go to sleep at 9. So there are parties I had to miss. There are concerts I had to miss, and so on. So you have to have this schedule where in the morning you would always be able to make 1 hour for the language that you want to learn. So that is why it was possible. Secondly, because I had learned Spanish just now, so I acquired this skill of daily language learning practice, and also skill of consistency in daily routine and so on. And this is not my first foreign language. I'm speaking English, that's my first. Then I learned German, then Spanish, then French. That also makes it very easier. So cut yourself some slack if you're planning to learn French or any other language. 4 months is a little bit extreme. I would give yourself longer. But if I had been living in a francophone country, by now I would be speaking fluent French. So if you live in a francophone country like France or Switzerland or Belgium or Quebec or Mali, and well, I don't really know what fraction of each African country speaks French, so I wouldn't count. But so even any francophone countries like Congo and Burkina Faso, Senegal, and so on and so on, where you are with people who speak French, then yes, it would be much better. While you are learning, you are also practicing. That is something that I did not get to experience for Spanish as well. That's about it. And for the advice, I would say that you would not learn a language passively like an app, like a 5-minute exercise on an app. No, you have to put in time actually. But the good news is these days we have apps and structured courses that make it so easy. Where Duolingo has these leaderboards and stuff like that. Although I mean, for French, I would still recommend Duolingo, but Duolingo is becoming a greedy little company, and it's just everyone hates it now, and even I hate it. So I really dislike using that word. But it could be, in general, this advice could be used for any course, anything in general. Of course, I have tried to use the same method on, let us say, Landau Lifshitz. It's a book on physics, theoretical physics, but I can't compartmentalize it in the same amount of time, same number of pages or chapters. Some chapters are bigger than others, so it doesn't work. It really works when it's broken down into equal pieces, uniformly distributed. Okay, now you could watch me talk in my best French with Paul, the French Harry Potter. Thank you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Shodan.
D'accord. D'abord, tu dois comprendre que je peux comprendre presque tout
D'accord.
quand tu parles.
Ok.
Mais je ne parle français très bien. Et quand je essayé de parler en français, c'est un peu encore difficile.
D'accord, mais tu manques un peu de fluidité pour l'instant.
Et tu dois parler lentement.
Plus lent, ok. Ça marche, pas de souci. Et donc, ça fait combien de temps que tu apprends le français?
4 mois.
4 mois?
Oui.
Et avec Duolingo, tous les jours?
Oui, j'ai commencé à... Je suis très mauvaise avec les nombres, numéros.
Les numéros? 1, 2, 3.
Oui, depuis les 12, 13,
12, 13, 14, 15.
15. Oui, 15 de janvier.
Janvier?
Oui. Et j'ai
Ok.
le fini il y a 3 jours.
3 jours.
Ouais.
Ok.
Oui.
Et tous les jours?
Tous les jours.
Tous les jours. Combien de temps par jour?
50 minutes.
50 minutes par jour? Ah oui.
Oui.
Ah oui, des bonnes classes de français. Ok.
Et dans la matinée et en la matinée.
Ça dépend de ce que tu veux dire. Dans la matinée? 50
les
minutes
jours.
dans la matinée?
Tous les matinées.
Ok, tous les matins? Tous les matins, 50 minutes.